No Fear Shakespeare, Part 3. First murder. What's that? You runt? Stabbing him? Young son of a traitor? Son, he has killed me, mother. Run away, I beg you. The son dies. Lady Macbeth exits, crying murder. The murderers exit, following her. Malcolm and Macbeth enter. Malcolm, let's seek out some shady place where we can sit down alone and cry our hearts out. Macbeth, instead of crying, let's keep hold of our swords and defend our fallen homeland like honorable men. Each day, new windows howl, new orphans cry, and new sorrows slap heaven in the face until it sounds like heaven itself feels Scotland's anguish and screams in pain. Malcolm, I will avenge whatever I believe is wrong, and I'll believe whether I'm sure is true, and I'll put right whatever I can when the time comes. And what you just said may perhaps be true. This tyrant, whose mere name is so awful it hurts us to say it, was once considered an honest man. You were one of his favorites. He hasn't done anything to harm you yet. I'm inexperienced, but maybe you're planning to win Macbeth's favor by betraying me to him. It would be smart to offer someone poor and innocent like me as a sacrificial lamb to satisfy an angry god like Macbeth. Macbeth, I'm not treacherous, Malcolm, but Macbeth is. Even someone with a good and virtuous nature might give way to a royal command, but I beg your pardon, my fears can't actually make you evil. Angels are still bright, even though Lucifer, the brightest angel, fell from heaven. Even though everything evil wants to even though everything evil wants to look good still has to look good too. Macbeth, I have lost my hope of convincing you to fight against Macbeth. Malcolm, maybe you lost your hopes about me where I found my doubts about you. Why did you leave your wife and child vulnerable, the most precious things in your life, those strong bonds of love? How could you leave them behind? But I beg you, don't interpret my suspicions as slander against you. You must understand that I want to protect myself. You may really be honest, no matter what I think. Macbeth, bleed, poor country, great tyrant, go ahead and build yourself up, because good people are afraid to stand up to you. Enjoy everything you stole, because your life is safe, because your title is safe. Farewell, Lord. I wouldn't be the villain you think I am, even if I were offered all of Macbeth's kingdom and the riches of the East too. Malcolm, don't be offended. I don't completely distrust you. I do think Scotland is sinking under Macbeth's oppression. Our country weeps, it bleeds, and each day a fresh cut is added to her wounds. I also think there would be many people willing to fight for me. The English have promised me thousands of troops, but even so, when I have Macbeth's head under my foot or stuck on the end of my sword, then my poor country will be plagued by worse evil than it was before. It will suffer worse and in more days and in more ways than ever under the reign of the king who follows Macbeth. Macbeth, who are you talking about? Malcolm, I am talking about myself. I know I have so many vices that when people see all of them exposed, evil Macbeth will seem as pure as snow in comparison, and poor Scotland will call him a sweet lamb when they compare him to me and my infinite evils. Macbeth, even in hell you couldn't find a devil worse than Macbeth. Malcolm, I admit that he is murderous, lecherous, greedy, lying, deceitful, violent, malicious, and guilty of every sin that has a name, but there is no need, absolutely none, to my sexual desires. Your wives, your daughters, your old women, and your young maids together could not satisfy my lust. My desire would overpower all restraints and anyone who stood in my way. It would be better to Macbeth to rule than someone like me. Macbeth, endless greed and lust in a man's nature is a kind of tyranny. It has caused the downfall of many kings, but don't be afraid to take the crown that belongs to you. You can find a way to satisfy your desires in secret while still appearing virtuous. You can deceive anyone. There are more than enough willing women around. Your lust can't possibly be so strong that you would use up all the women willing to give themselves to the king once they find out he wants them. Malcolm, Along with being full of lust, I am also incredibly greedy. If I became king, I would steal the nobles' lands, taking jewels from one guy and houses from another. The more I had, the greedier I would grow until I would invent false quarrels with my good and loyal subjects, destroying them so I could get my hands on their wealth. Macduff, the greed you're talking about is worse than lust because you won't outgrow it. Greed has been the downfall of many kings, but don't be afraid. Scotland has enough treasures to satisfy you out of your own royal coffers. These bad qualities are bearable when balanced against your good sides, Malcolm. But I don't have any good sides. I don't have a trace of the qualities a king needs, such as justice, truth, moderation, stability, generosity, perseverance, mercy, humility, devotion, patience, courage, and bravery. Instead, I overflow with every variation of all the different vices. No, if I had power, I would take world peace and throw it down to hell. Macduff, or Scotland, Malcolm. If someone like me is fit to be king, let me know. I really am exactly as I have described myself to you, Macduff, to Malcolm. Fit to be king? You are not fit to live. O miserable nation ruled by a usurping, murderous tyrant. When will you see peaceful days again? The man who has a legal right to the throne is by his own admission a cursed man and a disgrace to the royal family. Your royal father Duncan was a virtuous king. Your mother spent more time on her knees in prayer than she did standing up, and she lived a life of absolute pity. Goodbye. The evils you have described described inside yourself have driven me out of Scotland forever. Oh my heart, your hope is dead. Malcolm, Macduff, this passionate outburst, which proves your integrity, has removed my doubts about you and made me realize that you really are trustworthy and honorable. That devil Macbeth has tried many times to trick me and lure me into his power, and prudence prevents me from believing people too quickly. But with God as my witness, I will let myself to be guided by you, and I take my confession. And I take back my confession. I take back all the bad things I said about myself, because none of those flaws are really part of my character. I'm still a virgin. I have never told a lie. I barely care about what I already own, let alone feel jealous of another's possessions. I have never broken a promise. I wouldn't betray the devil himself. I love truth as much as I love life. The lies I told about my character are actually the first false words I have ever spoken. The person who I really am is ready to serve you and our poor country. Indeed, before you arrived here, old Seward, with 10,000 soldiers already prepared for battle, was making his way here. Now we will fight Macbeth together, and may the chances of our success be as great as the justice of our cause. Why are you silent, Macduff? It's hard to make sense of such different stories. A doctor enters. Malcolm, well, we'll speak more soon. To the doctor, is King Edward coming out? Doctor, yes sir. A crowd of sick people is waiting for him to heal them. Their illness confounds the most advanced techniques of modern medicine, but when he touches them, they heal immediately because of the power granted by him by heaven. Malcolm, thank you, doctor. The doctor exits Macduff. What disease is he talking about, Malcolm? It's called the evil. Edward's healing touch is a miracle that I have seen him perform many times during my stay in England. How he receives these gifts from heaven, only he can say, but he cures people with strange conditions, all swollen, plagued by ulcers, and pitiful to look at, patients who are beyond the help of surgery, by placing a gold coin around their necks and saying holy prayers over them. They say that he bequeaths this ability to heal, to his royal descendants. Along with his strange power, he also has the gift of prophecy and various other abilities. All of these signs mark him as a man graced by God. Ross enters Macduff. Oh, who is that coming over there, Malcolm? By his dress, I can tell he is my countryman, but I don't recognize him. Macduff, my noble kinsman, welcome. Malcolm, I recognize him now, my God, after the circumstances that keep us apart. Ross, hello sir. Macduff, is Scotland the same as when I left it? Ross, alas, our poor country, it's too frightened to look at itself. Scotland is no longer the land where we were born. It's the land where we will die, where no one ever smiles except for the fool who knows nothing, where sighs, groans, and shrieks rip through the air, but no one notices. Where violent sorrow is a common emotion, when the funeral bells ring, people no longer ask who died. People, good men, die before the flowers in their caps wilt. They die before they even fall sick. Macbeth. Oh, your report is too poetic, but it sounds so true. Malcolm, what is the most recent news? Ross, even news and art old is old news. Every minute another awful thing happens. Macbeth, how is my wife? Ross, she is well. Macbeth, and all my children? Ross, they're well too. Macbeth hasn't attacked them. Ross, they were at peace when I left them. Macbeth, oh, don't be stingy with your words. What's the news? Ross, while I was coming here to tell you my sad news, I heard rumors that many good men are arming themselves to rebel against Macbeth. When I saw Macbeth's army on the move, I knew the rumors must be true. Now is the time when we need your help. Your presence in Scotland would inspire people to fight. Even the women would fight to rid themselves of Macbeth's oppression. Malcolm, let them be comforted. I'm returning to Scotland. Gracious King Edward has sent us a noble Siward and 10,000 soldiers. There is no soldier more experienced or successful than Siward in the entire Christian world. Ross, I wish I could repay this happy news with good news of my own, but I have some news that should be howled in a barren desert where nobody can hear it. Macbeth, what is this news about? Does it affect all of us or just one of us? Ross, no decent man can keep from sharing in this sorrow, but my news affects you alone. Macbeth, if it's for me, don't keep it from me. Let me have it now. Ross, I hope you won't hate me forever after I say these things, because I will soon fill your ears with the most dreadful news you have ever heard. Macbeth, I think I can guess what you're about to say. Ross, your castle was attacked. Your wife and children were savagely slaughtered. If I told you how they were killed, it would cause you so much pain that it would kill you too, and add your body to the pile of murdered corpses. Malcolm, merciful heaven, to Macbeth. Come on, man, don't keep your grief hidden. Put your sorrow into words. The grief you keep inside you will whisper in your heart until it breaks. Macbeth, they killed my children too. Ross, they killed your wife, your children, your servants, anyone they could find. Macbeth, and I had to be away. My wife was killed too. Ross, I said she was. Malcolm, take comfort. Let's cure this awful grief by taking revenge on Macbeth. Macbeth, he doesn't have children. All my pretty little children. Did you say all? Oh, that bird from hell, all of them. What? All my children and their mother dead in one fell swoop? Malcolm, fight it like a man. Macbeth, I will, but I also have to feel it like a man. I can't help remembering the things that were most precious to me. Did heaven watch this slaughter and not send down any help? Sinful Macbeth, they were killed because of you. As wicked as I am, they were slaughtered because of me, not because of anything they did. May God give their souls rest. Malcolm, let this anger sharpen your sword. Transform your grief into anger. Don't block the feelings in your heart. Let them loose as rage. Macbeth, I could go on weeping like a woman and bragging about how I will revenge them, but gentle heavens, don't keep me waiting. Bring me face to face with Macbeth, that devil of Scotland. Put him within the reach of my sword, and if he escapes, may heaven forgive him as well. Malcolm, now you sound like a man. Come on, let's go see King Edward. The army is ready. All we have to do now is say goodbye to the king. Macbeth is ripe for the picking. We'll be acting as God's agents. Cheer up as much as you can. A new day will come at last. They exit. A doctor and a waiting gentlewoman entered. Doctor, I have stayed up with you for 2 nights now, and I haven't seen any evidence of what you were talking about. When was the last time you saw her sleepwalking? Gentlewoman, since Macbeth went to war, I have seen her rise from her bed, put on her nightgown, unlock her closet, take out some paper, fold it, write on it, read it, seal it up, and then return to bed, remaining asleep the entire time. Doctor, it's unnatural to be asleep and act as if you're awake when she is like this. Besides walking and performing various activities, have you heard her say anything? Gentlewoman, she says something, sir, but I will not repeat it to you. Doctor, you can call me, you really should. Gentlewoman, I will not confess it to you nor to anyone else because there was no one else to witness her speech. Lady Macbeth enters holding a candle. Look, here she comes. This is exactly how she always looks, and I swear it, she is fast asleep. Watch her, keep her hidden. Lady Macbeth enters holding a candle. Look, here she comes. This is exactly how she always looks, and I swear it, she is fast asleep. Watch her, keep hidden. Doctor, how did she get that candle? Gentlewoman, it stands by her bedside. She always has to have a light next to her. Those are her orders. Doctor, you see her eyes are open. Gentlewoman, yes, but they don't see anything. Doctor, what is she doing now? Look how she rubs her hands. Gentlewoman, she often does that. She looks like she is washing her hands. I have seen her do that before, for as long as 15 minutes. Like Lady Macbeth, there is still a spot here. Doctor, listen, she is talking. I'll write down what she says so I'll write it better. Lady Macbeth, rubbing her hands, come out, damned spot, out. I command you, 1, 2. Okay, it's time to do it now. Hell is murky. Nonsense, my lord. Nonsense. You're a soldier and yet you are afraid. Why should we be scared when no one can lay the guilt upon us? But who would have thought the old man would have had so much blood in him? Doctor, did you hear that? Lady Macbeth, the Thane of Fife, had a wife. Where is she now? What? Will my hands never be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You will ruin everything by acting started like this. Doctor, now look what you have done. You have heard something you shouldn't have. Gentlewoman, she said something she shouldn't have said. I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what secret she is keeping. Lady Macbeth, I still have the smell of blood on my hand. All the perfumes of Arabia couldn't make my little hand smell better. Oh. Doctor, what a heavy sigh. Her heart is carrying a heavy weight. Gentlewoman, I wouldn't want a heart like hers even if you made me queen. Doctor, well. Gentlewoman, I hope what she is saying is well, sir. Doctor, this disease is beyond my medical skills, but I have known people who sleepwalked and weren't guilty of anything. Lady Macbeth, wash your hands, put on your nightgown, don't look so frightened. I tell you again, Bonko is buried, he cannot come out of his grave. Doctor, is this true? Lady Macbeth, to bed. There is a knocking at the gate. Come, give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. Lady Macbeth exits. Doctor, will she go to bed now? Gentlewoman, yes, right away. Doctor, evil rumors are going around. Unnatural acts will cause supernatural things to happen. People with guilty and deranged minds will confess their secrets to their pillows as they sleep. This woman needs a priest more than a doctor. God give us all. To the waiting gentlewoman, look after her. Remove anything she might hurt herself with. Watch her constantly. And now, good night. She has bewildered my mind and amazed my eyes. I have an opinion, but I don't dare to say it loud. Gentlewoman, good night. Good doctor. They exit. Manthiat, Cathins, Angus, Lennox, and soldiers enter with a drummer and flag. Menteith, the English army is near, led by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. They burn for revenge. The wars they have suffered would make dead men rise up and fight. Angus will meet them near Burnham Wood. They are coming that way. Caithness, does anyone know if Donald Bain is with his brother? Lennox, he is definitely not there. Sir, I have a list of all the important men. Seward's son is there, as well as many boys too young to have beards who will become men by joining in this battle. Menteith, what is the tyrant Macbeth doing? Caithness, he is fortifying his castle at Dunsinane with heavy defenses. Some say he is insane. Those who hate him less call it brave. Anger, one thing is certain, he is out of control. Angus, now Macbeth feels the blood of his murdered enemies sticking to his hands. Now rebel armies punish him every minute for his treachery. The soldiers he commands are only following orders. They don't fight because they love Macbeth. Now he seems too small to be a great king, like a midget trying to wear the robes of a giant. Menteith, Who can blame him for acting crazy when inside he condemns himself for everything he has done? Katniss, let's keep marching and give our loyalty to someone who truly deserves it. We are going to meet Malcolm, the doctor who will cure our sick country. Will pour out our own blood to help him. Lennox, however much blood we need to give to water the royal flower and drown the weeds to make Malcolm king and get rid of Macbeth. Let's proceed on our march to Burnham. They exit, marching Macbeth, a doctor, and after an attendants enter. Macbeth, don't bring me any more reports. I don't care if all the Thanes desert me until Burnham Wood gets up and moves to Dunsinane. I won't be affected by fears. What's the boy Malcolm? Wasn't he born from a woman? The spirits that know the future have told me this. Don't be afraid, Macbeth. No man born from a woman will ever defeat you. So get out of here, disloyal Thanes, and join the weak and descendant English. My mind and courage will never falter with doubt or shake with fear. A servant enters. May the devil turn you black, you white-faced fool. Why do you look like a frightened goose? Servant, there are 10,000, Macbeth. There are 10,000, Macbeth. Geese, you idiot. Servant, soldiers, sir. Macbeth, go pinch your cheeks and bring some color back into your face, you cowardly boy. What soldiers, fool? Curse you. That face of yours will frighten the others as well. What soldiers, milk face? Servant, the English army, sir. Macbeth, get out of my sight. The servant exits. Satan, I'm sick at heart when I see Satan. Come here. This battle will either secure my reign forever or else topple me from the throne. I have lived long enough. The course of my life is beginning to wither and fall away like a yellowing leaf in autumn. The things that should go along with old age, like honor, love, obedience, and loyal friends, I cannot hope to have. Instead, I have passionate but quietly whispered curses. People who honor me with their words but not in their hearts, and lingering life which my heart would gladly end, though I can't bring myself to do it. Satan entered. Satan, what do you want? Macbeth, is there more news? Satan, all the rumors have been confirmed. Macbeth, I'll fight until they hack the flesh off my bones. Give me my armor. Satan, you don't need it yet, Macbeth. I'll put it on anyway. Send out more cavalry, score the whole country, and hang anyone spreading fear. Give me my armor. To the doctor, how is my wife, doctor? Doctor, she is not sick, my lord, but she is troubled with endless visions that keep her from sleeping. Macbeth, cure her of that. Can't you treat a diseased mind? Take away her memory of sorrow. Use some drugs to erase the troubling thoughts from her brain and ease her heart. Doctor, for that kind of relief, the patient must heal herself. Macbeth, medicine is for the dogs. I won't have anything to do with it. To Satan, come, put my armor on me. Give me my place. Satan, send out the soldiers. To the doctor, doctor, the Thanes are running away from me. To Satan, come on, sir, hurry. To the doctor, can you figure out what's wrong with my country? If you can diagnose its disease by examining its urine and bring it back to health, I will praise you to the ends of the earth, where the sound will echo back so you can hear the applause again. To Satan, pull it off, I'll let you. To the doctor, what drug would purge the English from this country? Have you heard of any? Doctor, yes, my good lord, your preparation for war sounds like something. Macbeth, to Satan, bring the armor and follow me. I will not be afraid of death and destruction until Burnham Forest picks itself up and moves to Dunsinane. Doctor, to himself, I wish I were far away from Dunsinane. You couldn't pay me to come back here. They exit. Malcolm and Seward and his son Macduff, Menteith, Katniss, Angus, Lennox, Ross, and soldiers after marching with the drummer and flag. Malcolm, kinsman, I hope the thing is coming when people will be safe in their own bedrooms. Menteith, we don't doubt it. Seward, what's the name of this forest behind us? Menteith, Burnham Wood. Malcolm, tell every soldier to break off a branch and hold it in front of him. That way we can conceal how many of us there are, and Macbeth's spies will give him inaccurate reports. Soldiers, Seward, soldiers will do it. Seward, we have no news except that the overconfident Macbeth is still in Dunsinane and will allow us to lay siege to the castle. Malcolm, He wants us to lay siege. Wherever his soldiers have an opportunity to leave him, they do. Whatever rank they are, no one fights with him except men who are forced to, and their hearts aren't in it. Macduff, we shouldn't make any judgments until we achieve our goal. Let's go fight like hard-working soldiers. Seward, soon we'll find out what's really ours and isn't, and what isn't. It's easy for us to get our hopes up just sitting around thinking about it, but the only way this is really going to be settled is by violence. So let's move our armies forward. They exit marching. Macbeth, Satan and soldiers enter with a drummer and flag. Macbeth, hang our flags on the outer walls. Everyone keeps yelling, here they come. Our castle is strong enough to laugh off their siege. They can sit out there until they die of hunger and disease. If it weren't for the fact that so many of our soldiers revolted and joined them, we would have met them out in front of the castle, man to man, and beaten them back to England. A sound of women crying off stage. What's that noise, Satan? It's women crying, my good lord. Satan exits. Macbeth, I have almost forgotten what feels like. There was a time when I would have been terrified by a shriek in the night, and the hair on my skin would have stood up when I heard a ghost story. But now I have had my fill of real horrors. Horrible things are so familiar that they can't startle me. As Satan comes back in, what was that cry for, Satan? The queen is dead, my lord. Macbeth, she would have died later anyway. That was bound to come someday. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. The days creep slowly along until the end of time, and every day that's already happened has taken fools that much closer to their dreams. Out, brief candle. Life is nothing more than an illusion. It's like a poor actor who struts and worries for his hour on the stage and then is never heard from again. Life is a story told by an idiot, full of noise and emotional disturbance, but devoid of meaning. Macbeth, she would have died later anyway. That news was bound to come someday. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. The days creep slowly along until the end of time, and every day that's already happened has taken fools that much closer to their dreams. Out, brief candle. Life is nothing more than an illusion. It's like a poor actor who struts and worries for his hour on the stage. It's like a poor actor who struts and worries for his hour on the stage and then is never heard from again. Life is a story told by an idiot, full of noise and emotional disturbance, but devoid of meaning. A messenger enters. You have come to tell me something. Tell me quickly, messenger. My gracious lord, I should tell you what I saw, but I don't know how to say it. Macbeth, just say it, messenger. As I was standing watch on the hill, I looked toward Burnham and I thought I saw the forest begin to move. Macbeth, liar and slave. Messenger, punish me if it's not true. 3 miles from here you can see it coming, a moving forest. Macbeth, if you are lying, I'll hang you alive from the nearest tree until you die of hunger. If what you say is true, you can do the same to me. To himself, my confidence is failing. I'm starting to doubt the lies the devil told me, which sounds like truth. Don't worry until Burnham Wood comes to Dunsinane, and now a wood is coming to Dunsinane, prepared for battle, and go. If what this messenger says is true, it's no use running away or staying here. I am starting to grow tired of living, and I would like to see the world plunged into chaos. Ring the alarms, blow wind, come ruin. At least we will die with our armor on. Malcolm and Seward, Macduff and their army enter, carrying branches with a drummer and flag. Malcolm, we are close enough now. Throw down these branches and show them who you really are. Uncle Seward, you and your son will lead the first battle. Brave Macduff and I will do the rest according to our battle plan. Seward, good luck. If we meet Macbeth's army tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight. Macduff, blow all the trumpets. They loudly announce the news of blood and death. They exit, trumpets and the noise of battle. Macbeth enters. Macbeth, they have me tied to a stake. I can't run away. I have to stand and fight like a bear. Where is the man who wasn't born from a woman? He is the only one I'm afraid of, nobody else. Young Seward enters. Young Seward, what's your name? Macbeth, you'll be afraid to hear it. Young Seward, no, I won't, even if you were one of the worst demons in hell. Macbeth, my name is Macbeth. Young Seward, the devil himself couldn't say a name I hate more. Macbeth, no, nor could the devil's name be more frightening. Young Seward, you lie, you disgusting tyrant. I'll prove with my sword that I'm not scared of you. They fight and young Seward is killed. Macbeth, you were born from a woman. Swords don't frighten me. Swords don't frighten me. I laugh at any weapon used by a man who was born from a woman. Macbeth exits, trumpets and petal sounds. Macbeth enters. Macduff. The noise is coming from over there. Tyrant, show your face. If someone other than me kills you, the ghosts of my wife and children will haunt me forever. I can't be bothered to fight these lame soldiers who only fight for money. I'll either fight you, Macbeth, or else I'll put down my sword unused. You must be over there. By the great noise, it sounds like one of the highest ranking men is being announced. I hope I find him. I ask for nothing more than that. Macduff exits. More battle noises. Malcolm and old Seward enter. Seward, come this way, my lord. The castle has been surrendered without a fight. Macbeth's soldiers are fighting on both sides. Our noblemen are battling bravely. The victory is almost yours, and it seems like there is not much left to do. Malcolm, our enemies fight as if they are trying not to hurt us. Seward, sir, enter the castle. They exit. Battle noises continue. Macbeth enters. Macbeth, why should I commit a suicide like one of the ancient Romans? As long as I see enemies of mine alive, I would rather see my sword wound them than me. Macduff enters. Macduff, turn around. You dog from hell, turn around. Macbeth, you are the only man I have avoided, but you go away now. I'm already guilty of killing your whole family. Macduff, I have nothing to say to you. My sword will talk for me. You are too devil for words. They fight. Macbeth, you're wasting your time trying to wound me. You might as well try to stab the air with your sword. Go find someone who can be harmed. I lead a charmed life which can't be ended by anyone born from a woman. Macduff, you can forget about your charm. The evil spirit you serve can tell you that I was not born. They cut me out of my mother's womb before she could bear me naturally. You can forget about your charm. The evil spirit you serve can tell you that I was not born. They cut me out of my mother's womb before she could bear me naturally. Macbeth, curse you for telling me this. You have frightened away my courage. I don't believe those evil creatures anymore. They tricked me with their word games, raising my hopes and then destroying them. I won't fight you. Macduff, then surrender, coward, and we will put you in a freak show just like they do with the deformed animals. We'll put a picture of you on a sign right above the words, come see the tyrant. Macbeth, I'm not going to surrender and have to kiss the ground in front of Malcolm or be taunted by the common people. Even though Burnham Wood really did come to Dunsinane and I'm fighting a man, not a woman born, I'll fight to the end. I'll put up my shield and battle you. Come on, let's go at it, Macduff. And damn the first woman who cries, stop, enough. They exit fighting. Trumpets and battles noises. The trumpet of one army sounds a call to retreat. The other army's trumpet sounds a call of victory. The victorious army enters, led by Malcolm, old Seward, Ross, the other Thanes and soldiers with the drummer and flag. Malcolm, I wish all of our friends could have survived this battle. Seward, in every battle some people will always be killed, but judging from the men I see around us, our great victory didn't cost us very much. Malcolm, Macduff is missing, and so is your noble son. Ross, my lord, your son has paid the soldier's price. Death. He only lived long enough to become a man, and as soon as he proved that he was a man by fighting like one, he died. Seward, so he is dead? Ross, yes, and he has been carried off the field. Your grief should not be equal to his worth, because then your sorrow would never end. Seward, were his wounds on his front side? Ross, yes, on his front. Seward, well then he is God's soldier now, and if I had as many sons as I have hairs on my head, I couldn't hope that any of them would die more honorably than he did, and that's all there is to it. Malcolm, he's worth more. He is worth more mourning than that, and I will mourn for him. Seward, he is worth no more than that. They tell me he died well and settled his scores. With that, I hope God is with him. Here comes better news. Macbeth enters carrying Macbeth's head. Macbeth, hail king, because that's what you are now. Look here, I have Macbeth's cursed head. We are free from his tyranny. I see that you have the kingdom's noblemen around you, and they are thinking the same thing as me. I want them to join me in this loud cheer. Hail, King of Scotland! All hail, King of Scotland! Trumpets play. Malcolm, it won't be long before I reward each of you as he deserves. My thanes and kinsmen, I name you all earls, the first earls that Scotland has ever had. We have a lot to do at the dawn of this new era. We must call home all of our exiled friends who fled from the grip of Macbeth's tyranny, and we must bring to justice all the evil ministers of this dead butcher and his demon-like queen, who rumor has it committed suicide. This and whatever else we are called to do by God, we will do at the right time and in this right place. So I thank you all, and I invite each and every one of you to come watch me be crowned King of Scotland at Scone. Trumpets play, they all exit. Finished. Thank you everyone for listening me, and subscribe my channel, and I'm ready to listen your whatever you would have, like the opinions, whether I did it rightly or wrongly. I just, the purpose of doing this very thing is that I have interest in acting, and I, besides that, I have interest, like, what do I say, like, I like the art of delivering of dialogues. That's how I can put my words, how I can put my thoughts into words. So thank you everyone for listening me. Thank you, take care, bye bye.